Yo, yo.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Stay Dangerous
Stay
podcast.
Dangerous Podcast.
I'm your host, Keith, here with my nigga. You already know.
What up? It's Brendan, y'all.
You know, I already know, man. How you feeling, bro?
Feel good, man.
You know?
Feel good. I feel happy. I feel blessed. I feel I'm attracting the things that I set out to attract in my life, man. So
Give me something good this week that make you feel good. If a nigga give me the I feel good or I'm doing all right, I'm gonna need a little bit
I
more.
feel good. I hit you with the James Brown. You know what, man? In September, I decided to set up this company, a wellness company designed for creatives, and athletes. And this month, I'm able to service creatives and athletes in Mental Health Awareness Month, doing my wellness thing. So I'm blessed, man. Like I said, I'm attracting the things that I set out to do. So,
That's fire, bro. Let it hear it.
what about you, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling Gucci, bro. I'm feeling good. Really getting back into my my inner child bag, bro. Just
Okay.
like really tapping into just back on that shit. Well, I don't want to say back on, but just like really honing in on like, bro, I'm trying anything I want to do. I'm gonna just do that shit. Not scared. I'm picking shit up. I'm putting shit down. I'm running over here. I'm running over there. I'm just like tapped into my inner child, like heavy right
Jungle
now.
Gym vibes.
Yeah. I'm just
Okay.
yeah. I'm on the playground with life. Like I'm just out here. Like I want to do that. Yeah, matter of fact, nah, I want to do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But honed in on shit though. But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Word.
So definitely feeling good, bro. But you know what I'm saying, it being mental health awareness month, you know what I'm saying, we gonna tackle all kind of subjects regarding our mental health
Yeah.
during this month. So get straight into it on this episode. We want to talk about why we left therapy. As black men, you know what I'm saying, therapy is something that I believe that we all need. We all need
And not even just necessarily why we left, but like our whole experience with therapy.
Yeah, the whole entire experience. I'm sure hope people could share and share our experiences with it. You know what I'm saying? Like we black men, we needed therapy. We've been through all these experiences. You know what I'm saying? But there's a reason we still not with it. So
Yeah.
whatever that looks like for us to cause us to leave that shit. What was it for you? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, and like I think, like I said, it's not necessarily just about us leaving it. It's about our experience with it, why we went there, but also may make sense for you. I want y'all to hear it from open eyes. Not I at least am not saying therapy is bad,
mm-hmm.
but there's a reason why I'm currently not in therapy. But also there's a reason why I went to therapy, and there's a lot that I got from it. So
Yeah. Same here, bro. Like I mean, shit, I'll kick it. I didn't even I didn't even consider therapy an option until shit, maybe like 27, 28 for me. Like it wasn't even a thought, bro. Like I didn't know nobody that went to therapy. I didn't talk to anybody that went to therapy. I just thought that was just like some rich white person shit that they do because they got a whole bunch of weird shit going on in their life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know therapy was like a thing, but then I realized I knew a girl that was working in the mental health in that field. You know what I'm saying?
or
I kind of have reached a point in my life where I'm just like, bro, I need somebody to talk to, fam. I'm going through mad shit, especially them like 26 to 30 years where I feel like it's a pivotal. A lot of changes going on, becoming an adult, losing friends and stress and just trying to navigate life, you know what I'm saying? But shit, yeah, I jumped into a therapist that was recommended by her, you know what I'm saying? This was a black woman therapist, you know what I'm saying? Which I thought would be my ideal pick. I don't want a woman to kind of be there to nurture me. Black woman, she gonna understand. But then I'm like, there's layers to this shit. You know what I'm saying? I get into it and I'm like, bro. So I go there, go to this office, and I'm rocking with no insurance at the time. But I'm up, I ain't tripping. I'll pay this shit. Rocking no insurance. Session 45 minutes. Go in there. You know, the first therapy sessions is.
so wait, just to like go back.
Mm.
The reason what was your goal for therapy? Like what
Oh,
were you trying to
my goal was to get some semblance of guidance, like some type of here's what you should be focusing on. Here's where you should hone on. Here's the things that are kind of making you feel this way. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of
what were
give
you
them my
feeling?
life. I was going through ups and downs. I'm sure I felt depressed at times. I felt lonely at times. I kind of felt like lost. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere to go. Like I'm just like, what am I out here doing? And I wanted to talk about relationships with my friends and people that I lost and what's happening. Right? I wanted to like literally put my life out there and be like, look, so this is what's going on. What you see? You know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of my goal to get from it. Like I didn't help me identify some shit, you know what I mean? And then I'll take that and go. I wasn't at a point where I needed help and like it
Well,
wasn't
you
it,
did in
I
some
needed
way.
help, yeah,
Yeah.
but not like oh my God, like
Word,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It was an emergency.
Yeah, it wasn't an emergency. It was just like kind of like, look, like I be dealing with a lot of shit. So I'm trying to lay my life out there. We come up with a plan and some shit like that, you know what I mean? So did that and you know what I mean? You know how them first therapy sessions be. It's just getting to know you. You pouring your heart out and soul on that one. Like the first couple sessions is like
It
that. You know
just
what I
sounded
mean?
like what you wanted to be able to do.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
exactly. And I was able to do that, but you know what I'm saying? And I got through I did 3 sessions in total with this therapist. And she was like a 50, 60-year-old black woman, had a son around my age. Son is in college and has a daughter and all of that. But you know what I mean? And laying on my shit, I was like, I'm telling her these things face to face. There's the physical aspect of like, oh, you just right here listening, writing this shit down. I gotta pay you out of pocket when I get up. Like I'm literally going in my wallet, giving you cash, like after I done rap with you for 45 minutes. So there was already that simple. So like, damn, I'm just like talking to somebody for 45 and them throwing them like, I don't know, 200 or 300, whatever it was after each session. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right.
But that wasn't you knew that going in. Yeah.
Yeah, but it still kind of feel a way when it's done. Like it's still kind of like word.
And was
like,
it there was no option to bill you?
Nah, bro. It was like I mean, I guess like you could have done it with like your card or some shit like that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I will always receive like I never paid for a session in the session.
Oh, word.
So
Like
I
I
was
pull it
just
out the wallet
and
like yo, like
even I've even though I had insurance, the therapist that I wanted to use both times were not under my insurance. So it's not an insurance thing. They just
word.
billed me for the month or whatever it was.
Oh, word. Nah, they was on there. I was like, yo,
I can see
y'all
where
take
that
cash.
feels very transactional.
Yeah, I was like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, this feels kind of crazy, but all right. But then there's like, and then there's this person I poured my heart out to, and for the first 2-3 sessions, then in this part of my life, I'm very busy, very active. So I'm like, I'm gonna skip a week or two, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of see what happens, you know what I'm saying? See they reach out or whatever, you know what I mean? And I do that and they don't reach out. You know what I'm saying? There was no text, yo, you good, everything. All right, like I just pour my heart and soul out to you, and now there's nothing. So it's like, oh, this is your job for real, for real. Like you see a million me's, and you got these steps. You probably, I'm thinking of it like you just got this guideline that works and helps everybody, and you just But this is a business for you. Like this really what you do. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't getting what I need. I didn't feel that nurturing. I didn't feel that. I felt more. Oh, I think this woman probably wouldn't like me hanging out with her son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she kind of looking at me different. It felt like that, you know what I mean? And I didn't feel that like that you actually care about me and my situation. I think I'm just here another check mark for you. You know what I'm saying?
So I guess there was two things there that maybe felt separate but kind of got clumped together a little bit. One was you feeling like it was just you said it's their job for real.
Yeah.
Which it is their job, which
Mhm.
you know it's their job. So
Mhm.
what was it about that revelation that maybe like struck you in a way?
Oh, there's always that like doctors, that's their job. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
There
but
are
them
therapists who are
niggas will,
doctors.
yeah, I'm saying, but there is like when I've been to there, that nigga will fix what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like he will. I haven't been to enough, I guess, where I know it be some bullshit ass doctors out there too, but I know that anytime I've been a doctor, you know what I'm saying, he gonna at least fix what you got going on. The way he go about it, yada yada, that's cool. But I'm looking at it as like where your job's supposed to come with like automatic how I didn't know was just like, oh, some of y'all out here really just listen to whatever and throwing out whatever, and that just be that. Like,
So it seems like to me, it seems like you were playing this game with the therapist. Like, let me see if she reaches out to me, and if she doesn't care about me. So it feels like you kind of projected that on her. Like
maybe so.
you wanted it to go bad in a
Maybe so.
way.
I didn't want to go back because I didn't plan it. You know what I'm saying? But when I did miss a week or two, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh word, this is that. Like, you ain't even hit me. Like, you saw I was just in your office crying with you for 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you seen all this to not even like. You don't gotta hit me up and act like you care the most about me. I know you busy. I know you got your own life. I know you got shit going on, but not even a text. You know what I'm saying? Not even nothing. Like, word. Like, oh, you ain't fucking with it? Cool. What if I kill myself? You know what
Well, I
I'm saying?
mean, you already. I think they are trained to know emergencies from non-emergencies, and you just said your situation was not an emergency.
Word,
So
word.
I
They
don't
like
think
this nigga
it's. I don't
good.
think it's fair to say, "What if I kill myself?"
Word, word, word.
Seemed like you want it to be bad. I guess is what
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of sound
yeah.
like.
Nah, yeah. I mean, I wasn't. I didn't feel like what I was getting out of the experience. But then I'm like, man, felt like it was a lady too. You know what I'm saying? Like, my biggest thing in therapy was like, damn, I need somebody that really hear me, like really. And I know it's gonna be tough to find somebody that relate to me, like because obviously you a therapist, like your life path was probably a lot different. But damn, you got family members, some that really like hit close to home to where you could kind of like hone in more. I didn't feel any type of relation for it. I feel like I was talking kind of like a foreign language. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh word.
So maybe that's the second thing I was hearing that I didn't. You kind of said it, but I didn't know where it came from. Is the idea that she wouldn't like you hanging out with her son. Where did
Mm-hmm.
that come from?
Kind of the way she described, you know what I'm saying? Just like her upbringing. Like we talked about her shit too, you know what I'm saying? Like for a quick second. So kind of just in the way of her describing it, was kind of like, and I said some shit too that was kind of like, seemed like she was taken aback by, you know what I mean? Where it was like, where, okay. But I mean, I could be completely wrong. That's just what the fuck I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a vibe I
But
got.
you felt judged by her.
A little bit judged. Yeah, a little bit judged. But more so just like, even all that aside, I'm still not getting shit. Like you just hearing me and I'm paying you out my wallet right now. Like, and I gotta travel to middle Manhattan to do this shit. Like, I don't feel like doing this shit. Like I would rather not. You know what I'm saying? But that's that was my experience with that one therapist. But I had another one that I tried during the pandemic actually. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just trying times for everybody. I'm confused and going ups and downs. The side that I got recommended person. That was via Zoom. You know what I'm saying? So the intimacy. I'm more of a physical, like face to face convos type shit. The Zoom, like meeting them, the first initial relationship, it was cool, but again, it was kind of somebody where I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, you just pick this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. I don't know, bro. I've been there for 2-3 sessions, bro, and I'm like, I'm hearing y'all, but I'm not getting shit, dog. I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? In that same situation, I went ghost. I didn't go ghost, but I didn't do nothing for the next session or two just because I wasn't really feeling it. I ain't hear nothing back.
So it sounds like you try something but for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
You don't build a personal relationship with the person, but you
Well,
expect a personal relationship from the person,
I
and
was
then you
kind
just
of.
disappear on them. That's what it sounds
I
like to
mean, but
me.
I was kind of like under the impression, under the guise of like, that's what therapy is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a personal connection off rip. It's not like just. But those are the examples I've seen. Like, you know, when you always see like therapists on TV shows and shit like that, and in movies, and it's like always seems like this very personal relationship. You know what I'm saying? They kind of make you feel like that. Like, I'm in here telling you my life story and all these secrets and all that, and let me cry, blah blah blah, and then it's just like, oh yeah, just have my money at the end. Once you're done with this shit, just have my
No,
bread, bro.
well, I think from a therapist perspective, there's probably just a large amount of people who try therapy for a week, a
Yeah,
month, but aren't really actually trying to heal their wounds and or to figure out like a new path forward for them. And if I was a therapist, I would have to understand I can't text and follow up with anybody who tries therapy for a couple weeks.
right. I can feel
So
that too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna follow up with the people I feel like are maybe a threat to themselves.
Mm.
People who are just trying therapy and I just wasn't the right therapist for them. They probably found a new therapist who was for them, and I'm not going to take that personally because I didn't even have a chance to build with this person because
Word.
because like the first 2 sessions of therapy, you're not even really getting to anything
Uh-huh.
because you just have to tell your life story and have the person, and then they really start providing the value, like sort of sessions 3 through or whatever, like.
And that too, I remember with the second therapist too, like I did like 2-3 sessions. But then I remember like, and always the sessions was just like, it was always just like letting shit out, crying, talking about this trauma, this. But then there'd be some days, I remember the day game was, I'm like, yo, it's a nice ass day. Like I'm feeling good. I don't fucking feel like talking to my therapist about nothing. Like I'm having a good ass day. I'm cool. Like, so I miss that day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, I don't really, these 2-3 weeks, I'm feeling good. Like I don't need to talk to you about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I know there's people that are honed in on that where I was just like, I don't really feel like talking about shit right now.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like you use the example of another doctor, right? Like just because your knee feels good today doesn't mean you
Yeah,
don't have a
word.
cartilage problem.
Yeah, word,
You
word,
still need to
word,
do rehab, like you know what I
word.
mean. Like you still recovering from that ACL injury, but
Hmm.
just because it feel good today, you can't skip rehab.
Yeah, and shit, I've thought about getting back into it a few times, but I've kind of just taken the stance of like, man, I'm gonna let it find me versus finding out. Like going to find a therapist is taxing, bro. Like there's a lot of motherfuckers out there. Filter through who and who. I need like personal recs on like some type shit like that. But also I'm not pressed to get in it. But I'm curious to hear like your experience. Your experience sound like probably a lot different than my shit. But
I mean, I was just trying to make sure I understood where he was coming from, but I don't. It was definitely different. Um,
where you did therapy at?
I've only done therapy remotely,
Word.
so I started therapy for the first time during the pandemic.
Word.
I also sought out a black woman.
Uh-huh.
I reached out to one of my homies, like, yo, you got any aunties I could talk
Yeah,
to? And
that's exactly what I wanted. I needed
she
that
thought I was
auntie
talking
vibe.
about a sugar mama. Actually, said it depends. Are you putting out? I was like, what's going on here?
What?
but but
What sugar mama's paying for?
I have no idea. I didn't get the rates.
What's the rates going for?
Um, so I went to the first therapist that I went to. There was a bit of it just being impersonal that I didn't love, but it
Yeah.
was she kind of heard out my story, and it kind of confused me the first couple times, but I had to really talk to her about you're not meeting my expectation, but maybe I have the wrong expectation. What should my expectation be? What are we getting at? When do we get to what I would consider the meat of it or the good part or whatever?
Right.
And what she said is she thinks like pop culture's done a really bad job of like setting an expectation for therapy, where you think it's like sort of this big reveal every week of like this thing is a really incremental thing, and you start to give you little tools, little things to think about, and over time you start to see a change. So you may not even notice the change because it's incremental. You may not notice it for a while, but then it comes to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big part of it.
What was the root cause for you to even decide to go to therapy?
Yeah, great question. Um, in the pandemic, I was feeling like I didn't have a good understanding of my self-worth. I
Word.
think a lot of my worth was tied to production that didn't exist anymore or wasn't able to produce at the same rate in the same way. But not just like output, but also um, human to human interaction. Like I take pride in being able to make people laugh, and feeling that energy from them actually fuels me up. So not having that was
Mm-hmm.
really hard for me. Feeling misplaced in certain things, like um, I was like right before the pandemic in 2019, I had broken up with my son's mom. So the pandemic hits. We're not even living in the same city. So I don't really have the same access to my son because travel is restricted, and even if it's not restricted, comfortability with like me going into major airports to get to them. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff going on, and I just felt like I'm not me. I need
Mm.
to figure this out. So yeah,
How
that was
long? How
that was a
long?
big part of it.
How many sessions you did with that one?
I can't remember how many sessions.
Uh,
I can't specifically say, but at least 7, I would say.
or did you feel any disconnect with the remote shit?
The remote, no, because I didn't know any difference.
Or
But what I will say is that there was what felt really weird always was like the end of the session,
yeah,
because it's like this is a 40, 50-minute block or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, you ask me these questions, I'm giving you the answers. And it's
yeah.
like, well,
It don't matter where
next
you at.
time.
Time's up, my nigga.
But one thing that really frustrated me about that therapist and just her lack of I don't know, like I guess personal skills, like interpersonal skills. At the end of one session, she's like, I think after 5 sessions, your insurance needs some sort of like, what are you working on in therapy? So they give you a diagnosis. And at the end of the session, she's like, yeah, I know your insurance probably needs this, so I'm gonna give you this diagnosis. I want to let you know that you are depressed and you have this sort of like change aversion disorder. All right, talk to you next time. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait,
word.
what?
Word.
And that threw me off. And then the next session, I just had to come back like, I don't know where you come from, or maybe you think this is normal because you've been desensitized to this, but you can't just diagnose me with depression and be like, all right, holla at you, nigga. Like, that's
Yeah,
not how life
word.
works. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely threw me off with her. And I did feel like there was a little bit of a it just wasn't my therapist, right? I'm sure she was great for a lot of people. It just
Right.
wasn't my therapist. Um, and at that time, I took a little bit of a break. Um, More part of it was to understand how I am experiencing depression and not have see it through somebody else's eyes. I really wanted to like, because I felt that way before I went, so it didn't catch me completely by surprise. Although I tried to maybe like fight it initially.
What, you felt that way about therapy, you saying?
No, I felt like I probably was depressed.
Word.
So to be diagnosed wasn't a complete surprise, but it was yeah, I just had a lack of understanding of like what to do about it, but also I also just kind of wanted to like, okay, it's good that I know that. So everything else feels normal, right? Like, oh, because
Yeah.
I'm depressed, all of this has a context. But now I would just rather experience it without somebody else looking at it every second. You know what I mean? Like I want to know what my true experience is in it through my eyes versus through hers.
Word.
So I took a little bit of a break from that, and I just did a lot of deep dive, not just into myself, but into external resources, books, whatever, documentaries to help me understand a worth different from the things that I was talking about, different than being dependent on interacting with other people or being seen through other people's eyes or being producing something like just for myself. So that was the approach I took at that time.
Was you against therapy before you started it? Like, or at any point, I guess, in your life?
I'm sure I was, but it never even was a thought.
And then was it 2020 the time that you felt the most sad in your life, or you felt sad like that before?
2021 was when I went. And then, so to answer your question about like I knew somebody who went to therapy when I was like 26. I was dating somebody who was in therapy. And it confused me why they went, because I was like, this seems like a very quote unquote normal person. They seem very happy. I don't know what's going on with them.
Right.
But I was never against it. It didn't discourage the person from going. I just didn't maybe understand the value of it.
Word.
And it just didn't even resonate with me that the things in my life that I thought were normal were actually abuse, and they were actually traumatic to me. And I was so good at internalizing, moving on, and just like accepting it,
Yeah.
that I didn't realize how much it affected me.
Yeah. Word.
So once I kind of came to terms with that, then therapy made more sense. But until I could understand that my normal, while it may be normal, wasn't healthy, then it was hard for me to see why therapy would make sense for me. Sorry, your other question was, was that the saddest time of my life?
Yeah.
You know, when I moved to Chicago, that was a pretty sad time for me.
Yeah.
I moved to Chicago not knowing anybody.
That was after college?
Yeah. Working a job that I hated and that hated me. In a very sad place to be, which is the wintertime in Chicago.
God
I moved there January 28th. I saw the sun again in April.
Word.
I started the job. I moved there on a Friday, started the job on Monday. Blizzard was there on Wednesday, and it just never saw the sun again.
Oh, yo, know nobody.
Don't know nobody.
New job.
Not getting none.
Yeah.
Hate the job. Like, can't meet nobody. It was just like bad.
And therapy wasn't an option though at that point. It wasn't even a thought.
I didn't even think
of
it.
Like that.
Like, it probably was an option. I had no idea.
It was an option, but you just like, hey, this is what it is, dog.
Didn't think about nothing, nobody, or nothing like that. But that was actually ended up being I look at that time as super pivotal, and I ended up hurting a lot of people during that time because I just was dealing with a lot and like was trying to invite people into my space that I thought would help, and then I would, lash out against them for trying to help and not understanding and all this stuff. I didn't even understand what I was doing.
Yeah.
But then once I kind of got past that, then I kind of got to a place where it's like, oh, I know myself better because I've been through this. I'm seeking out certain things. I'm experiencing something. I'm building a community on my own. Like I'm navigating this and figuring it out. So I never actually even saw that as like a bad time until somebody was like, somebody asked me, have you ever been sad in life? Because you always seem like you're happy. And I'm like, oh yeah. I was sad when I lived in Chicago. Oh yeah, damn. And it all came back to me. You know what I mean?
That shit always funny when people say shit like that. Be like, what you mean? Like, you only see me X amount of time. How many times you finna really have I seen you sad? Like,
no, this was somebody I was dating who was around me all the time.
Oh, word. Yeah. I know I've had niggas be like, yo, nigga, you only see me when I'm out. Like,
word, there's a reason why I came out.
Yeah, word. Like, you don't see me when I be in the crib or something like that. Like, but I also, man, like,
Cleasy, I need a new mug, man. Holla at me.
Word.
Holla at me.
Now I was saying like, cause too, like one of my issues with therapy is like I'm always like, and I'm like this, I guess, with everybody, but I'm like, bro, what's your credentials, bro? Like, who are you? Who is your therapist? What's your issue? So I be kind of always having that perspective.
It doesn't seem to me like you want therapy to be for you. Like you don't want it to work.
It ain't that. I would love for it to work, but I need that like.
I say that because you're like, I came twice. You never reached out to me again. It's like, but why was that the expectation?
Yeah.
Or like, but who are you though?
I did it the right way.
Do you have it figured out? I was like, no, but the people, like that's what I say, those that can't do teach, right? Like it doesn't mean that somebody needs to have their whole life figured out. Like my barber has a fucked up cut, but guess what? They nice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But it seems like you're trying to find something wrong with therapy or some reason for it to be not for you.
Yeah, true. That's fine too, because then I'm like, if I am doing that, then isn't that the therapist's job to be like, see, this behavior, you're doing this.
Well, if you show up,
blah. I guess.
That's the thing. Like, I'm feeling good, no therapy. It's like anything is like, how can I get to no therapy?
Yeah, that was the first. I was like, hey, yo, this feeling good today. I'm happy as shit. I ain't finna call your ass crying with all this shit and pay you. Nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna take a week off on this shit.
It does take a lot out of you to be like, I need to go to some dark places and pay you to do so.
Yeah. That's and that was a big thing for me. Like, damn, bro, like I don't want to do this. I'm feeling all right. It's summertime now, actually. I think it was just some winter thing. You know what I'm saying? Or like whatever the fuck. But it's not to say that I don't believe a therapist can help me. It's just like I know for us, it's a time-consuming thing and it's a costly thing, bro. Like that insurance, even there's a lot of insurances don't even cover that shit. Like they don't view it like that. So it's just like, bro, this shit costs, bro. Like if I'm paying $300 a session or $250 a session, we trying to stack a month.
Yeah, I think, and I haven't been to therapy in 2023.
Mm.
2022, my therapist was $200 a session. She was the most expensive therapist like available, honestly.
Word.
So I think it's like one something. Not to say it's cheap. It's definitely not cheap. But yeah,
Move $800 a month. You know what I'm saying? Just like, not just two, because I'm sure where it's and that's probably one of my issues too. I haven't heard enough success stories from people. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that I know that frequent therapy, a lot of them. I've looked at, you got a lot of fucked up shit going on. I'm sure it does a lot better for you than it do for me. I'm talking sexual assault type of shit. Like I'm sure it does do a lot more for you. But a nigga like me, where it's like I'm fairly fine navigating life. There's some shit I want to hone in on and get to this and this and that, but I ain't found that niche. You know what I'm saying?
that was a funny thing about therapy for me. Is like, at least the first time, it's like I feel fairly fine, but I feel off.
Word.
And then when they like point out some things, like remember when you said this happened and this happened and this happened, you didn't realize that this is the thread that ties them all together. And I think it's because this happened to you. Like, oh shit, that does affect me. And I've created a coping mechanism for it to not make me sad, but it still affects me and it makes me interact with these people. So I think they are really and they're trained to be good at like identifying patterns that you don't see, making an assessment of like a cause for that. And once you have like something named as a cause, you're like, oh yeah, I can accept that and let that go now. You know what I mean, or whatever. Um, and I think somebody that you talked about a lot of different trauma that you've been through on the pod,
for sure.
be it with the fam, be it with the law, be it, you know what I mean, just like a lot of stuff. So I think
Therapist one of the first people to tell me I had PTSD. Like, I never even thought about it like that. Oh, word, that's what that is. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? But
even just in a previous episode, I remember you talking about. I think we were talking about the love stuff. The love stuff. We're talking about love, love versus love.
The love stuff. That's the.
But, you were saying that like when sometimes you get questioned in a romantic relationship, it can bring you back to being interrogated by police, right? Like that's trauma.
Yeah,
there's a trauma-based response that therapy probably could help you out with. So it's not just like, oh, I've had sexual assault, like I need to go to therapy.
Right. You know, too. Also, like, I mean, I guess I want your opinion on like how do you view these professions, like, because with capitalism, I would say like capitalism essentially makes everything nasty. Like, where even if there's people that want to do for good, always gotta be money in it. When money's in this shit gets stupid. So like, you take a doctor for instance. How beneficial is it for him to cure the shit if they making more money treating it? You know what I'm saying? And I kind of viewing the therapy the same way. Like, do you want me to heal because you get paid every week? I'm in this bit. The more clients you got every month, I have those thoughts where I'm just like, bro, this is a business, man. And it's hard for me to tackle that. Like, fam, y'all, you need if all your clients was healed, you be asked out.
No, I think there's enough sick people in the world, like mentally. So, what I've found, the two therapists, and I've only had two therapists, and I haven't got to my second one. She's hella dope.
Word.
Two therapists that I've had, first of all, don't take a lot of clients and only take new clients when other clients are feeling like, you know what, I don't feel like I'm needing this right now.
Word, that's fine.
So I never thought of it like, oh, you're just trying to get as much money as you possibly can.
Word.
No, I never thought about it like that.
Word.
I'm sure there are people like that, but to me, those are in the doctor world. Those are the plastic surgeon doctors, right? They're just gonna like keep doing BBLs every week, like whatever, every hour if I could.
You need a BBL,
right? And start getting to that danger zone of like, let me just do this, or like those steroid writing doctors for athletes. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who really want to make some shit work. And I think big pharma is like, no, there's way more money in treating it than curing it.
For sure.
But I think on an individual doctor level, there's probably more people trying to help people. Is Western medicine helping people? I'm not going to go out on a limb and say I believe in all the practices of Western medicine. No, but I'm saying the people who get into it, much like teachers, right? They're getting into it because they want to help people. If they actually are or not, depends on the situation.
I've also heard that therapy is a never-ending journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're never done with therapy. So if that
Yeah.
case is like, so what, I'm signing up for a lifetime, this a lifetime agreement we on?
Yeah, I think taking care of your mental health is a never-ending journey, and understanding your triggers and being able to what did trigger you and having them turn into just events in the past that you're not triggered from and aren't affecting how you're interacting with people. I think that can be a journey that follows you your whole life. Whether or not you need a therapist to help you along that journey, I think depends on maybe what's happening in your ability to give yourself grace and give others and exist in love, like all those things.
Mm.
But I don't think therapy itself is a never ending. Maybe it's a never ending journey, but it's not a constant journey.
Right. I want to hear more
Some
about
folks it
your.
doesn't start.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be like, yo, you ain't even gonna try it out.
But
Not
the
one
idea of it
time.
like being something that you can go back to is kind of why I was saying I don't want to focus necessarily on why we left as the only thing. It's like
Yeah,
there's a reason why we left.
yeah.
There's also a reason why we're there. There's a reason why we might go back.
Facts. I'm not opposing going back at
Yeah.
all. I just been kind of on the like, feel like again, I'm out of 2 relationships where it's like I'm not about to just go find another girlfriend. I'm gonna just if a shorty come in my life, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You
but
said I'm trying to get chose.
yeah. Therapist is fighting with, oh, I know this person, blah, blah, blah. Like, I keep my ear out, you know what I'm saying? I look occasionally and shit like that, but I'm not just doing the random internet search no more, bro. Like, I'm not just doing it like that. But I would like to hear about about you said your second therapist was dope.
Dr. Jamila Young, yo, she's fired
Yeah.
up. Hella cool.
Where's she from?
From I forget actually, cause I haven't been to her in a while, but like just a completely different energy. She specifically works
Is a
with
black
like
woman too?
the black woman.
Uh,
I feel like my whole life, and part of what we were talking about before, how guys don't really open up to guys as much as they do to women. Like my whole life, I've been more open with women, so I figured that would be a good step for me with
right,
therapy. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
I was thinking that trying to do that next time.
Yeah, no,
No
it may be a
bullshit.
good look. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, people
Pause.
have asked me, "You gonna need your camera back?" What up, Mace? Yo, Mace, that's crazy.
Yo, Mace is a funny ass dude. Son. Yo, shout out Mace and Betha, bro.
But anyway, my second therapist was just really thoughtful about her own practice. She's like, hey, this is my life, and I really work with working professionals, people who have like high, who are doing well in their career. Like, I'm not working with people who have certain risks associated with them, because I can't give that kind of.
Right.
I don't have that.
Right.
I have a short list of clients, like, but this is what but just her thoughtfulness and her, I guess I don't want to say inventiveness, but like creativity. So she's first of all, she was a doctor.
Mhm.
So and she studied the brain. She understands how the brain works, why it functions the way it does, how triggers, what we all call triggers on social media, like how they actually work,
Mhm.
take hold in the brain, and how you have to go back to that place of when you were triggered and give a different response to your brain to even trick it into getting outside. Like, she was just very intelligent about those things, and was very, very straightforward with you about like just even like rules of therapy, like shit nobody says to you. I didn't know it was the law that they have to show you the notes that they take during therapy if you ask them.
Oh, word.
Yeah, never knew this. But she would tell me these type of things. It's like completely transparent, super dope.
Yeah, builds trust, right?
Yeah.
There. You telling me that? Like, oh, bet. All right, bet. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Like, and but what our exchange was built around is like, hey, I'm having a hard time. Not even I'm sad, whatever. I'm having a hard time receiving love. I feel like I'm closed off from it. I feel like these are the things that happened in my life that have affected me, my ability to do that. I feel like it's shutting me off from friendships, romantic, whatever, and just receiving help in any sort of way. I want to be able to move past that. She's like, cool, let's talk about it. Tell me your life story, the whole first couple of things. She's like, I feel like you have, and I was like, I think I have a hard time feeling in general. People talk about how much they feel about stuff. I cried once in this decade. Like, I don't know. Like, I was talking
Right.
to her about all this stuff, and she's like, okay, here's some stuff that I'm noticing, boom, boom, boom. Here's where I think these things are related, boom, boom, boom. And then when I got to like, okay, thank you for this. And I'm very real with my therapist.
Mm.
I come in saying,
Yeah, that's problem. Niggas be lying to
hey,
their therapists
well,
too.
not only just lying to the therapist, but I also tell them, I'm not looking for a friend. I'm not here for somebody to talk to. I feel like I got people I could talk to.
Yeah.
I'm here to make this different. I'm not here to, so don't console me. Don't make me feel better about how,
Right.
because I think a lot of people's therapists, from what I've heard, are invested in them being happy with them so that they
Yeah.
keep choosing them again.
Yeah.
I'm not that I'm not that patient.
Word.
I don't need you to make me feel better about other people being toxic in my life and it's not me. You know what I mean? Like I don't need that.
Yeah.
But there are these things that are affecting me and I know what they are. I've identified them. I see the patterns. I've gotten past that part. How can it show up differently for me? And she's the person that's like, here's this experimental treatment that I've seen. Here's this thing that I was trained in that I have the ability to do. Here's you know what I mean? She had answers for that were like scientifically backed up that I was like, oh, wow. Okay, dope. Thank you. Thank you for understanding. I'm not here just to talk to you for the next 6 months.
Word.
Let's do some shit and figure some shit out. So she had some things where like it's an eye treatment where it's activating your left and right eye so that you're activating your left and right brain. So when you go back to these traumatic experiences, it's able to really your whole brain is activated so that memory becomes very visceral, but then you're able to replace the feelings that you thought coming out of it with these new thoughts. Like some next level, she was like,
I just had deja vu. It was like,
yeah,
like weird.
but I thought she was super dope. But what ended up happening for me is a few things about therapists, and not necessarily her. The last one for sure. There's this idea that like, sadness is normal, maybe, or inevitable,
Yeah.
or like whatever it is. And I live
normal and inevitable.
Yeah, and suffering is inevitable, and so it's not about how do you get out of suffering, it's about how do you able to cope with it and live with it. And for me, from a spiritual standpoint, I would realize that I'm moving to exist in a world where I'm eliminating my suffering. And so to philosophically be so different from some of the therapists, I don't know if I'm articulating that in a great way. But it just messed with me to do that. And then also I had a spiritual guide that I was speaking with that was talking about there's a way to call in the energy of healing from these back to quantum jumping.
Yeah.
But call in that energy from these other existences that are happening parallel with this one, where instead of necessarily needing to get that resolved in therapy, you can call in the energy of your digested emotions, your digested trauma, and actually call that in. And so I started doing that more. And then lastly, I feel like I'm a rapper for hella long.
You rapping? It's all good, though. That's what we on, bro.
The last thing was something really good that I can't remember. There it is.
Fucking take a break when we think about that shit. We got, you know what I'm saying? You know how we coming. We got fit check it.
Fit check?
Yeah, we got
time for the fit
check.
check.
I got a question after the fit check, but we got
time to get to the fit check.
Yeah, you go
first.
I'll
pop it off. I'm going top down this time. Want to make sure I shout out my homies. So the hat is Aussie and Davis. What up, Jeff? Jeff, my homie, man.
What
up,
from?
AC? Jeff from Brooklyn.
Word.
But lives in LA now.
Mm.
They've been doing this brand for a while now.
Word.
Every once in a while they drop a new piece, be it a cardigan, a hoodie, a hat. Just my homies, who have a brand, it's a movement, you know what I'm saying? I would love to have them speak about what the movement represents. I don't want to butcher that, but Aussie and Davis is what's going on atop the dome.
Very colorful fit today.
Say what?
It's a very colorful fit today.
Yeah, added some colors in today. I mean, I wouldn't. came with the coral. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I did throw something on with a little color. I would have been asked out. I had the all black. Not asked out, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wear. That's what I wear. But the shirt, Marnie t-shirt. Copped it at this dope spot in downtown Detroit, but can't think of the name of it right now. Juliet Font pants. I've worn the dust jacket from them before. I know I called out that brand before. Out of Amsterdam. Dope. I think they're open like one day a week though. So one of those. Yeah. And then Union 2s.
Word.
Union 2s.
This will look kind of hard with this shirt. I don't think about it.
Yeah. I have like no accessories on, not even glasses. I guess I got a hat on.
Rare. Yeah. The hat save it. They come out naked
nothing on the wrist, nothing on the fingers, nothing on the neck.
Chilling.
Nada.
No pearls in. Where the pearls at?
Butt naked, baby.
I feel it, man. Shit. All right, man. We doing top up, you know what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, you know I'm gonna start on this piece, bro. Fucking you can't even see the face on this thing. It was 1970s vintage AP I grabbed, bro. And I caught the nigga going in. I caught the wholesaler going into Moses. I intercepted. I say,
what up, Moses?
It was good, my nigga. Got that price. I say, I need that price. You know what I'm saying? So that shit dope, man. I just been really into the vintage shit lately. You know, cars too, bro. I'm thinking about copping the vintage whips on, bro. This the coral, the salmon piece, whatever y'all want to call it, corduroy, like oversized shit from Acne, man. I had this in the closet for a while, but I bring it out on rare occasions.
Do you know what fabric that is?
I don't, bro.
So I got like a suede corduroy joint that like it doesn't look suede.
Corduroy is not a fabric.
Corduroy is a style, like how accordions like that. But most corduroy is like cotton or cotton based, but I do have a suede corduroy something somewhere. I was just curious if you knew what that was, because it seems to be a little bit of a velvety plushness to it too.
Yeah. No, I will check it after I take this shit off. I'll let you know though, off camera. And then
speaking of fabrics,
speaking of fabrics, came with the Wales Bonner, bro. Wales Bonner. She been killing shit. I think she was up for the Louis V job too.
Oh yeah,
Pharrell got, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Wells Bonner, just some loose fitting, summertime vibe shit, you know what I'm saying? And
that silk? What is that?
Yeah, it's some satin shit, bro.
Okay.
Satin, you know what I'm saying? And then came with the Dior's, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for summer though. You see it, you know what I'm saying?
Some Dior slides, bro.
I love my Dior's, man. Shit's so calm, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we coming. But back into the episode, I had a question about you went on about the dope therapist and she sounds fire. I didn't even that you talking about that experience, like, oh shit, all right, I didn't know that kind of shit goes on in therapy. Like I might have to look for some shit like that. But the episode is called Why We Stopped Going to Therapy. So why you stopped going to her if she's this dope? And
I found other ways to process what I was trying to process. So part of it was,
how long were you with her?
You really think about this like relationships, huh?
Yeah, it's just the same shit, bro. Like, yo, all relationships the same, bro.
Probably 4 months.
4 months, word.
I was going 3 times a month.
And this was after 2021.
Yeah, this was 2022.
Word.
Yeah, this was last year. I
don't think I knew you were in therapy.
Last year?
Yeah. Maybe we talked about it. I don't remember talking about her specifically though.
I probably didn't get into the details of her.
Yeah.
Super dope. But it was the most expensive therapist that I went to.
Word.
That did happen. And then also, it was interesting. Like, I probably got with her, let's say, like March to July, something like that. And then July, I'm pretty much gone all of July.
Mm.
I come back August. Life is coming at me fast with just family stuff. Then in September, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually leaving corporate. I'm dedicating my life to healing. And I have a whole different perspective on things. And so the things that I think were preventing me from opening up before kind of fell away as my new perspective emerged. So I feel much more open. I feel much more receptive. I don't feel that same block. So I never came back and was like, you know what, I need to do some more of those treatments. I was just like, oh, I'm not feeling the same things I do. I don't feel like something's in the way of me receiving love. I don't feel
Word.
like that. So it kind of naturally just fell
If
away.
you jump back into it, you jump back into with her though.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the first person I'm
Word.
reaching out to.
Word. I gotta take that recommendation. Or that's conflict of interest.
I don't know if
Friends and shit having the same therapist, like
yeah, if I want to talk shit about you, like my fucking co-host is the damn worst. No,
Word.
no, I think more than that, I don't think you're necessarily supposed to practice across state lines. I don't know how that works. I think it's like being barred in
Word.
certain places or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
I don't start me to line, bro.
Yeah. No, I already know. Shit. Hold on real quick. Let's take a break. I don't know the time at all. At all. I didn't look at it before we started. Nothing like reference point. Do anything on the phone? Yo, hey, 15. Oh, we got
5-1?
15.
No, we were going for 51 minutes.
Oh, we've been going for 51. Oh, word. Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, yeah, I know we've been rapping for a little bit. All right, bet. We're gonna go for like 5. We're gonna go for like 5 more real quick. All right, bet. How we want to tackle it?
We gotta get into, so for people who are thinking about therapy in this episode, discourage them away from it or whatever, like do we want to leave them with anything? The whole like mental health awareness month type of thing.
Yeah. Word. All right, yeah. Kick it off.
Okay, so we've been talking about therapy, our experience with it, maybe what was left to be desired from it, and maybe even what we got from it. For people out there who are considering therapy for the first time, or
Or like us.
or
That's
like
been
us
and
have
left.
been and left, and maybe feel like they should go, or feel like something is missing and it's an option, something to go back. Are you completely against therapy for people, or what do you want to
Nah.
leave people with?
Nah, not at all, man. I would encourage anybody think about it to do it. I don't see therapy as non-helpful. I think no matter what, it'll help you anyway. Like even in my therapy experience, it still helped me. I still got shit from that, even if it's small. Like Shorty telling me I had PTSD, like, oh, where I've used that in mad avenues of my life and been able to identify things from that. And even just the experience, even just the talking, just the venting of shit that you probably never vented to anybody close to you ever long, still do something for you. But now I would encourage anybody to really get back into it, and even in just listening to, you know what I'm saying, just this convo, which is also therapeutic in itself. Just listening to this shit like makes me kind of want to like dive in, start searching, you know what I'm saying, kind of for that. I'm not opposed to that. I've considered same thing in relationship therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not opposed to that as well. So anybody that's thinking about it, or that's, even if somebody wants to, you know what I mean, reach out to me on my experiences with you know what I'm saying, I would encourage them to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, relationship therapy is an interesting one, and maybe that's something we could talk about.
So
I think going back to the love episode, I think it's one of those things that can help you see the divinity in your partner, or the pureness in your partner.
exactly.
It's
It's an
like,
unbiased third party.
because there's motivations to everything. Everything is cause and effect, right?
Mm,
So to be able to just see what's the motivation for you doing this, then judge you for that, not how I was affected by it. You know what
right. Right.
I mean? For anybody considering therapy, I would say, if it is a possibility for you, meaning monetarily you can make it happen, or you have coverage to make it happen, or whatever it is, um, try it out. Um, but know that you're not locked into a therapist. We've both talked about experiences, the therapists that weren't for us. Find somebody that you feel comfortable talking with, and that you feel like you're getting something from when you speak with them. It is one of those things that can feel expensive, yes, and it's hard to, maybe maybe it's not immediate that you find the right person. So you feel like you spent this money, you didn't get the right person, but it's still worth it. And it is something that, like we said, we both benefited from it, regardless of if we're still in it now or how long it took to get that benefit. So I would say try it. Definitely try it out.
And also, one of the things you said, my fault to even cut you off, but just one of the things that you had said that I kind of just hone in on, like make sure you are identifying and know why you're there, what you're trying to get. So like you going into it like, look, I need this, this, and that, and it's not just a freestyle. And if you're not getting what you went in for, then you can cut ties real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that helps. Like I have this intention, so I know whether or not it's quote unquote working. Well, I know what it's supposed to be doing. But also, I'm sure there's some people that are listening that are like how we were the first time.
Yeah.
I just feel off.
Yeah.
Feel weird, and you may not know what that intention should be.
That honesty is key too. That being honest with yourself, and then being honest with, if you going to therapy and you lying to your therapist, you just playing yourself.
Wasting time. Yourself, and you don't there's nothing to be gained besides an ego stroke.
Exactly.
Lying about what's happening in your world to make it sound better than what it is, so that your therapist can pat you on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not growing from it. You're not growing from it.
You cheat yourself all day, man.
Yeah. But I see people do it all the time.
I know.
And then they said, and I was like, oh yeah, you were great. Like you cut out all the part where
you cut out all your shit. You can feel good about yourself. Oh, that's why you go to therapy, so you can feel good about yourself for a little day. You know what I mean? But we stress all this whole month. We stressing mental health, but I mean the whole podcast. We stressing to get your mental right. Make sure that we are becoming the best us. Make sure that we have inner peace. Make sure that we are improving ourselves and identifying that all these things, we all fucked up, bro. The world fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to get this shit right, though.
We trying to get it right, man. So, another episode of
Stay Dangerous Podcast.
Yes, sir. Love you, my nigga.
Love you, my nigga.
Holla at y'all.